My name is Krishna Gavde. Today I am going to show you what I have done in my OGT. So basically I have implemented one backend ledger system for bank transaction system. So today I am going to show you how a bank transaction system works at the backend. So first of all, in a bank, a user should have an account in order to perform transaction. So step by step I am going to show you. So first of all, this is our source code about how the bank transaction is been working. So for this I have used Node.js at the backend and for the Mongodb as a database. And for this I have used that these API like for from creating an account, get the balance and get the all accounts of that user. Even for creating a transaction, you should know these entities from account to account and the amount which you are going to transfer. Okay, let's see step by step. Okay, now for before going to dive deep into this, so let's see how a new transaction gets done. So these are the 10 steps in which the transaction gets happen. So first of all, the request which you are going to uh, validate. So first of all, the request which you are going to send to the server for a transaction should validate like the system. The user should have a valid account, and then it will check the valid idempotency key which is necessary for any transaction, and then check account status like it should be active account, and then we will derive the sender balance from ledger, so that uh, balance should greater than the amount you are going to send, and then we will create an entry of create a transaction with status pending, and then we create two ledger entries of type of each type debit and credit. Once the debit and credit ledger entry gets created, then we will mark the transaction as completed and then commit MongoDB session. And also we can have a send email notification on the user's account. So this is the basic terminology of how a transaction will happen in our project. Okay, then first of all we need to start the server, and then uh, server will connect to the database and as well as email email server in order to send the messages. And then this is our app.js file which will uh, takes the all APIs like API authentication for authentication purpose, and API accounts, API transactions for getting done transactions. Okay, in order to perform this uh, system, we should have uh, we have to use these models like first one, user model. The user model will have the following attributes like email, the name email of the user, name of the user, password, and whether it is a system user or not. Based on the user model, we can get the we can create the account using account model. So for the account model, the schema would be with following attributes like user, and then status, whether it is a whether that account is active or frozen or anything else, and the currency which is that account is using. And then after this we will have a ledger module. The schema for the ledger will have following attributes like account, account for uh, account attributes, then amount, and then transaction ID basically, and the type of that ledger, whether it is debiting the money from that account or crediting the money into that account. And lastly we will have a transaction module, where we will use the transaction schema with following attributes like, to complete the transaction we should know the uh, sender details of sender account, and then receiver account, and then uh, the status of the transaction, whether it is pending, completed, or failed, and the amount which is going to be transferred from one account to another, and lastly the IWTC key, which is unique for every transaction, so that to make sure that that transaction is not happening again and again. So let me show you how those models will look like in a database. So as you can see, I have already created some documents. So this is the user model, users users collection. As you can see, it has attribute like data, a table, email, name, password, and for email, password, and then accounts model. For the account model, it looks like this: ID, user, status, whether it is active or not, and the currency, and the ledger for uh, every account which is involved in transaction for like this, and the transaction, whether that transaction is completed or not, with the given status completed. So let's start uh, how it get done. Okay, now I will show you the how, what kind of which type of APIs should we use in order to perform this backend ledger system. Okay. Suppose if we are a new user, then we have to create an account with the valid password, and then we can uh, we can we can view our balance, as well as we can make a transaction for that account as well. So these are the APIs on the left of the screen we are going to use in this system backend project. So first of all, we have to start the server. You will get the source code of this project on my GitHub profile. As you can see, our server is connected to that database, which is on the server of Mongodb Atlas, and email server is also ready to send messages. So we will start step by step how for a new user it should get what. So if we are a new user, then we have to register for it. Okay, so I have also take an example of one Gmail, so that we can get the message from it of registering an account in their bank. Okay, I will use this email. Okay, password should be same, and then we will put the name as Krishna, and then we will send the API request. So as you can see, we will get the successfully account gets created of message account. We will get the message of account gets created with status code 201. And with this we can with this user account we have to log in first, or we don't need to right now log in, and then we can create an account, as we don't have right now any account. So as you can see, the account gets created. So if we see into the MongoDB database, you can see the entry of new user gets created. So now, so just remember, for a new account gets created for this uh, Krishna Dhavde, for the name Krishna is 6848. So if you get, you can see that accounts also gets created. A new account is also gets created. As you can see, 6A487 for user 6A48707. So which is nothing but the 6A487, which is the system username Krishna. So till this we have successfully created an account. But if we get to the, if we try to fetch and get balance, but if we, okay, to get the in order to get the balance of that particular account, we have to copy that account. Okay, we will directly copy it into the database 6A487700783, which is an user. So right now we know that this is an account for 6A4. Just copy it, Control C, and then we will transfer it into the basically copy there. Get balance. So right now, as you can see, we have created an account, but it shows me a balance of 0. So at the time of creating an account, you should have some balance. So how that money gets initially gets transferred to your account using an, for that you should you know you have to use the system account in order to get the transfer money into this account. So let's copy this account again, and now try to log in via system user. So as we have already have one system user account. This is system@test.com. System@test.com. Password is likely to be same, and then login. Okay, now it's get login, so we can uh, we can use the query like initial funds in order to transfer the initial funds from to account. So we have already know the account of that, just paste it with amount, and we may can use another add printing key to make the transaction valid. Again send. As you can see, the initial fund transaction completed successfully. So if we go, okay, this is query for the logout. Now we are log out as a system from users, from as a system user. Now if we go back to the login API and again login to for this, then okay, we get we have the access to login, and then again use the query for get balance with the same account. Then as you can see, we will get the account balance of 10,000, and then after this we will make a transaction of one transaction. As we have already logged in, so just use it, just copy this account here and then paste one account. Okay, let it as be the same. Okay, first of all we have to make sure that two account is in the present, is present. Okay, we will copy this account and try to transfer the money in this. Okay, money of 4,000, and then set. Okay, again we are sending as by changing some content in identity key, and we will wait for it. As you can see, our transaction has completed of amount 4,000. So it's taking some time. So due to I have set a timer, so it should like a real time transaction happening over there. So again, if you go and use the get balance API again with for the same, then you can see the okay. So it's happening two times because I have uh, used that query uh, for two times, like for two different ID importance key. So which behaves like an two different transactions. So 2 times 4,000 gets deducted from the 10,000, and we get the 2,000 balance. So like this it's working like this. And for the get all accounts balance, we should know that the user should valid. For this, user should be valid. The user should be a valid user in the database. So as you can see, for this user there is an only one account. So one thing I want to mention that when you create a register for register as a user in this backend, the email one email ID email message is sent to you on your email. So if we just check an mail box, then you will get an message of from the bank transaction system about that uh, you are registering that you have registered successfully at Backend-Ledger, like this. Okay, which right now it is an 8:01 a.m. and also the time is 8:15, so I'm working on it right now. So if we see the ledger entry as well, then as you can see, you can see for the account 6A487, we will get the ledger entry as we have debited the money from the account 2 times, so you will get the debit ledger entry for account 6A48, like this. There you have get the 6A4, like 6A48708AA. Well, as you can see, the for this account there is the ledger entry for credit, uh, which I have done initially by the system user, and then again for the account for the same account there is a debit entry of 4,000, and then again there is a debit entry for 4,000, and those 4,000 are credited into this account 682147, and again 682147. So as you can see, with this we have successfully created a transaction Backend-Ledger for bank transaction system successfully. So at the end we can we can also successfully log out, so with the message on status code 200 that user has logged out successfully. So it also checks all middlewares, like whether the you account has the efficient balance for transferring the money as well or not. So for this project I have used MongoDB for the database, MongoDB Atlas for the database, and the Google's email service as well. You will get online as well. Thank you. Thank you.